Hi everyone, I am Silvia Barattieri and I am the head of the Equal Opportunities Unit at Politecnico di Milano. How do we embrace equal opportunities at Politecnico di Milano? We believe that the way to gender equality, or at least one of the ways, is through science. We are committed to promote and support strategies and activities to bridge the gender gap at university level in the STEM, science, technology, engineering and mathematics fields, and to achieve a higher presence of female students in our study courses, especially in the area of engineering. Fostering women in STEM through MOOCs is therefore a significant opportunity, one that we cannot miss, to raise awareness and to contribute in reaching this objective. Within our university, our goal is to provide equal opportunities for all, to promote inclusion and to nurture the promotion of everyone's talents. We devoted to the task a comprehensive project launched in 2018 called POP, Pari Opportunità Politecniche, and a unit dedicated entirely to gender equality, LGBTQ+ inclusion, multiculturalism, support of students with disabilities, learning disorders, and psychological needs. The way to gender equality, though, still looks long and bumpy. As we search through the latest data, here's what we find. The World Economic Forum Global Gender Gap Report 2021 shows at least another generation of women will have to wait for gender parity. Closing the global gender gap, in fact, has increased by a generation from 99.5 years to 135.6 years. The report's Gender Gap Index benchmarks the evolution of gender-based gaps among four key dimensions: economic participation and opportunity, educational attainment, health and survival, and political empowerment, and tracks progress towards closing these gaps over time. The same report tells us that gender gaps are more likely to be present in sectors that require disruptive technical skills. For example, in cloud computing, women make up to 14% of the workforce, in engineering 20%, and in data and artificial intelligence 32%. We need now to take a moment and reflect on these numbers as they display areas of inequality between men and women in 130 economies around the globe, over 93% of the world's population. Do you think that this scenario should be on the spot in the global political agenda given its relevance? Focusing on the STEM area, let us move now on to another relevant publication in this field. It's called She Figures, and it provides a range of indicators on gender equality in research and innovation at pan-European level. It aims at giving an overview of the gender equality scenario using a wide set of key pointers to examine the impact and effectiveness of policies implemented in this area. In the 2018 edition, in particular, a set of new indicators provided insights on the early segregation in the education pathways chosen by young women and young men and their subsequent progress to the top educational levels. In other words, from early age, young women are more likely to consider themselves as less fit for technology, math and science, and therefore will avoid choosing or even considering a university degree in the STEM areas when it comes to making a choice at the end of secondary education. A number of studies show that gender stereotypes and biases, in fact, work their way to becoming girls' own perception since middle school or earlier, parting them from subjects that appear harder and distant from their natural inclinations. This reflects today in having only 21% of females enrolled in STEM courses at university level in Italy and 19.8% in Europe at the bachelor level for information and communication technology, whereas females account for 26.7% in engineering, manufacturing and construction degrees in the EU 28 area. Data on the workforce in these same areas, as we have seen before, present a similar gender segregation. After uncovering some numbers of gender inequality in the first part of this lesson, we should now focus on other relevant aspects closely connected to this scenario. Having few women choosing the STEM fields has and will have a relevant fallout in the workforce and in the social dimensions of independence, self-awareness, and active citizenship. The skills and competencies of the future job market will focus on STEM subjects combined with interpersonal and creative abilities and an interdisciplinary mindset. Furthermore, studies demonstrate that science, technology, engineering, and mathematics occupations are expected to experience a rapid growth in the coming decade. Young girls and women need to be aware of the wide range of possibilities that an education in this area will provide them with. As the European Institute for Gender Equality claims, achieving gender equality in STEM education could, in fact, add up to 1.2 million jobs and form 610 to 820 billion of euro to Europe's gross domestic product by 2050. This outcome will not only impact on the individual dimension of women across Europe, but also on society at large. It is a goal that we cannot miss. So how do we teach young girls and women to make informed and forward-looking choices when it comes to education, job market, financial autonomy, and self-awareness? Using the potential of massive open online courses, MOOCs, to propose science, technology, engineering, and mathematics contents free of gender stereotypes and balanced in terms of gender equality will provide a key tool in reshaping the misrepresentation of women in STEM. Through MOOCs, we can show young girls how women have been choosing science as a passion or a career for a long time and still do. Women belong to the scientific scene as much as men do. Let us also describe them how well female scientists perform in these fields and how relevant is their scientific contribution to the academic debate in all the STEM areas. The selection of experts and educators chosen as MOOC professors will work as examples of positive models to look up to and to identify with. Good practices in videos and MOOCs design will represent a powerful tool for engaging men as well, as achieving full gender equality will not be possible without a radical shift in men and boys' perception as well. Along with the economic case for gender equality, we need to consider STEM competencies as a key factor to fight inequalities and as a social elevator, an enabler of responsible citizenship. As Ersilia Vaudo Scarpetta, Chief Diversity Officer at the European Space Agency, recently said, "The challenge of equal opportunities is one that simply cannot wait." It is also achieved through mathematics, which is a language, a way of thinking, a factor in self-esteem and, in an ever-changing world, a key to unlocking the future. The potential for being at ease in those spaces where our tomorrow is imagined and turned into reality.